Okay, hi YouTube. This is your girl Leaner313, and I'm gonna do this is my probably my second to last video. This is my video, second to last video on breastfeeding, almost kind of sorta. So I may do one on technique a little bit later, on how to breastfeed your baby properly, because I think that's important, and something for newbies who are pregnant now, because it's more important to understand, to have a goal, like set a goal when you're first pregnant, and well, when you're pregnant, getting towards the end, of how you're going to breastfeed, how you're going to tackle it, who is going to be your support system, who's like your lactation specialist, or a mother who breastfed before, who has breastfed her children. Like, you need a mentor, especially if your mom didn't breastfeed. You're going to need a mentor. You're going to need somebody to look up to talk to, and to basically let you know that you can do it, because it's hard in the very beginning. I'm not gonna lie. You've been through umpteen hours of labor, not to mention that you've been pregnant for 9+ months, and you're waking up with this cranky little baby every couple of hours. So it's not gonna be easy, okay? Also, on top of the pain that you're feeling down below, now you got pain in your boobs, okay? Now it's like I hate to be like I'm telling you all the bad stuff, but because it's really a wonderful experience. But that's how it is in the very beginning, the first 3 weeks. I would say the first 3 weeks, and you're gonna feel this way. But once you get past that, it's the most easiest thing to do, because you build, your breasts have built up calluses, so it's not hurting as much, and it's just wonderful. But back to weaning. So I weaned my baby, and I probably weaned him at 13 months, fully. Well, 13 to 14 months. And I would honestly say, looking back on it, that I started weaning him at about 6 months, when I started introducing food. And I say that because breast milk and solid food have an inverse relationship. So the more food you give, the less milk you need. And more food, less milk, less milk. So that started out, and of course, you start out feeding him, and a meal a day, then it's 2 meals, then it's 3 meals, and then you introduce your snacks. Some baby eat 4 meals a day, mine, but 4 meals a day in their snack. And then and by the time you're doing that, you're not breastfeeding as much. It decreased from probably breastfeeding 8 to 12 times a day to feeding 3 times a day right before meals. And then once that I got down to, I'm only breastfeeding right before breakfast. And when he got cranky, then I'm down to, at 12 months, I completely started, at 12 months is when I started the weaning process, and I started decreasing it slowly. I didn't make it was not a shocker. Sometimes when he would start asking for food, which he would, asking for the breast, I would give him a cup. Here's your cup. Here's your cup. And he was receptive to it, because I did it slowly. It wasn't abrupt. I didn't have to let him cry. But that's another thing too. I never, ever, ever breastfed him to go to sleep. Never. Not one time. So if he was, well, I take that back. He would fall asleep on the breast when he was really little, but little babies fall asleep. They sleep all day. But I'm talking about when he got older and it was time for bed, like, 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever time you put your kid to bed, and it's time for him to go to sleep. I never breastfed him until he went to sleep, and then no. So that wasn't something that he had to get over. He got his milk, especially at 6 months. That's the best time to start that. He got, his meal, he got his water or his juice, and he went to bed, And I breastfeed him right before going to bed. And I just didn't. So, and that's not a good thing. Some women do it, and I think it depends on what works for you and your baby. I can't just say, well, it's not a good thing, but I didn't want to have to breastfeed a baby going to bed. So I didn't want him to get dependent on it. So with that, you know, I didn't have a hard time as far as his sleeping patterns and having to let him cry it out, which I've heard some women had to do because they wanted to go. They're used to sleeping with the breast, or they sleep in the bed with you. But I never let him sleep in the bed with me. He always slept in his bassinets, you know, like right next to me. And then when he got 6 months, I moved him to his crib in his own room. So I didn't, you know, I didn't have those issues. But one of the issues I am having is the sippy cup. Like, and the weirdest thing, we never gave him anything to go to bed with, like 8 months. And then we started giving him a sippy cup. And now that sippy cup he is dependent. So I'm trying to tell you, don't give him nothing. He gets everything at dinner, then he goes to bed. He does not have sippy cup. And you know, especially when you want to start potty training and they're drinking right before bed, is never a good thing. So he's a year and a half now, and I would say I completely stopped at 13 to 14 months, because I fed him. His last feeding was right before Thanksgiving, or right after Thanksgiving on a plane, and he was getting really, really fussy, so I pulled out the boob so he stopped crying. I didn't have much milk, and it was very painful. So he really started breastfeeding at 13 months. And I tell you, emotionally, a lot of women said, do you miss it? Do you miss having breast? And I was like, no. And I got to tell that she may have missed breastfeeding her kid, but I'm glad he's off the boob. I'm glad. You know, so I'm off, and I'm taking a break until I have the next one, which we are unofficially trying to get pregnant. I won't give you any details on that. No details. So, yeah, the weaning was a wonderful process. I mean, the whole breastfeeding experience was wonderful. I mean, even in the beginning, the fact that I conquered over something that was so hard and so difficult, it felt like it was the hardest thing I would ever do in my life. And it was great, you know. I'm glad that it's over, though. I mean, like, not glad it's over, but I'm glad that he's maturing. Honestly, with the emotional issue, I would say cutting his hair was the most emotional for me, because I realized he wasn't my baby anymore. He was a toddler. So when he got a haircut and he looked like a big boy, that was hard. But breastfeeding wasn't. Or maybe it was even because I slowly weaned him off the breast from 6 months all the way to like 13 months. Maybe that also gave me a chance to, you know, kind of ease into not breastfeeding instead of doing it abrupt. You know, I'm feeding him like 8 times a day, and I'm just like, oh, you're done. Take this this juice cup, you know. So that was wonderful. And you know, anybody who's wanting to breastfeed, I would suggest doing it. It's a wonderful thing, and you're gonna love it. And I loved it, and I'm happy that I did it. And it was a lot easier. You know, you don't have to pack up milk bottles, you don't have to sanitize bottles. It's a lot cheaper. You know, it's just, and it helps you lose weight, which, you know, I did gain weight back, probably about 5 to 8 pounds, 5 to 8 pounds depending on the month. But I just, you know, it made me a better person. Like, breastfeeding really made me a better person. It made me more conscious of what I was putting in my body and what I was eating. So you should breastfeed, and weaning was great. So I love you guys, and bye. Oh yeah. Oh, and I always end it at the end about hair videos. This is probably just gonna end, and that's fine. But I thought that YouTube gave me like 15 minutes, but I guess didn't anymore. I'm confused. Like, they sent me a little message saying you're gonna get 15 minutes now to do your videos. And I was like, oh great. But the last video I did, it turned off at like 9 minutes. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I don't get my 15 minutes. So that was something cool with YouTube, I guess. So that's pretty much it, and I'm kind of testing my thing out. So if you don't want to watch the rest of the video, that's fine. I'm really just talking to see if I'm gonna get past 9 minutes, because it cut me off. Or maybe I was talking so long that I got past 15 minutes and didn't even know it, because I wasn't watching my time. That's weird. I'm also gonna start. Oh, I always put it in my videos. I'm gonna start hair videos. I will put in the thing hair, so people who are more interested in like hair videos. I'm also wanting to do things about nutrition, like toddler diet, because I have like the coolest recipes for toddler diets. It's easy to chew, and I get all the 4 food groups in one. So it's really cool. I'm gonna start doing those videos, and I might do a video on technique, but I don't know, because I don't want to be too raunchy. My husband's not feeling that, and he doesn't want me pulling the boob out, and that's cool. So, oh, it did go past there. Yay! Big ups to YouTube for giving me 15 minutes. I should have put that in the beginning of my video. Thanks, YouTube. Yay, thanks, YouTube. So, I actually did go over 15 minutes rambling in my last video, and it just cut me off in the middle. Anyway, hair videos, technique, my last technique video. You know, this is pretty much my last video on breastfeeding because I'm weaned them now. And breastfeeding videos, and oh, toddler food, which is going to be cool because I do like the coolest toddler food videos you ever want to see. Like I put when and then I have a baby that eats a lot, so I put like some stews together that have all of the food groups in it. You're gonna love it, and it's for people who don't like to cook like me, but you got a toddler who needs to eat. So so thank you, bye, I love you guys, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube.